squad, some squad members had introduced a motion to halt funding to Israel a day before this happened. And when you don't realize how this is all coordinated, this allowed a few squad members like AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar to look good because they got to look like they opposed this while the Biden administration had already planned to follow through on the ceasefire action. And guess what? That did not even last a whole day. Israelis, they're like the heel wrestler. They're always going to look to break the rules when the referee isn't looking. And you've got the United States running outside interference. There was a graph over the past couple of days which showed the Israel funding to American politicians. Guess who's at the top? It's the Joe Biden. Over $3.9 million funded Joe Biden. Thank you for the subscription, Miramax. Appreciate that. And people still are focused on the whole Russiagate. Israel's handpicked politician is the one who's president right now. And you want me to feel like Russia's the one that's meddling in our elections? You want me to feel like China is the one meddling in our elections? Since China is the right wing version of Russiagate? When the evidence is Israel arguably has done more, when you realize that the United States funds Israel's imperialism to the tune of billions and billions of dollars. The IDF, they get the same type of training that US police officers get. And what I've been saying is these issues are connected. If you can't get the United States to pull out of Israel, then you're not going to improve policing in any way, shape, or form. It's going to continue to be the liberal reformist bullshit that continues to make policing an even worse problem. In a bit, I've got another story related to this Israel and Palestine issue, but we got to get into the squad. Yesterday, this happened. This tweets from Alec Karakatsanis. Thread: a major scandal is happening right this moment on the House floor. Mainstream Democrats are quietly trying to ram through a $1.9 billion budget increase to the Capitol Police, military, and Department of Homeland Security. Supposedly because January 6th showed that they need more funding. For those of you new to this, of the many things that went wrong on January 6th, insufficient funding for Capitol Police and bloated military bureaucracy was not one of them. This is part of a long pattern. Police work with liberal reformers to use their own violence, waste, brutality, incompetence to justify increased budgets. All of the goodwill must speak out against the latest attempt by Democrats to waste money expanding state bureaucracy, violence, militarization, and surveillance. All these instruments will be turned against the most vulnerable people in our society. Then all 6 squad members were reportedly opposed to this. Update: devastating news. This dangerous bill passed 213 to 212 with AOC, Rashida Tlaib, and Jamal Bowman abandoning their positions and voting present instead of against it, thus supporting giving cops more money and weapons to use against the most vulnerable people. All right. Moments like these were right up the squad's alley. They were supposed to be an instruction to the establishment, a hostile takeover was the original purpose of the Justice Democrats, as Kyle Kulinski would put it. Once again, the squad proves they do not have solidarity with the people that supported them and abandon what they ran on in their campaigns to get elected in the first place. We wanted them to vote as a block. When they do that, they do it for the wrong reason. In this moment, they were split squad. This ain't spring training. These were the moments you campaigned for. Cori Bush obviously got allowed to save face because defunding the police was a big part of her campaign in St. Louis. The worst part here is following the response to the Derek Chauvin verdict, Rashida Tlaib made a statement in favor of abolishing the police. Then she backtracks on that and votes present. When you stay neutral You have chosen the side of the oppressor. That very much applies here. Part of the Force the Vote campaign was for the Squad and their neighboring progressive allies to use their leverage to counteract against destructive democratic reformist bullshit and allowing it to pass through. The Squad has shown they are useless once again. And what's frustrating about it is they play dumb to the tenets of Force the Vote when it matters, and they got an opportunity to use their leverage to counter against the bad within their own party. Then when there's nothing at stake, they give y'all the wink wink, like they know, like they understand what we're asking them for. When it's time to walk the walk, they don't do it. There's people on the left who have been screaming for a long time. The Democratic Party is where progress goes to die. By and large, it is very true. And every moment that they have an opportunity to step up and live to their platform, they fold like an accordion. I've held off on calling them the fraud squad for a while. But when you're served up this layup, it's pretty fucking obvious that they're the fraud squad. And even though there's future progressives all over the country working to get elected through the Democratic Party, my message to them is you're going to have to prove us wrong. I'm not going to put my trust in you. You have to prove it with your actions. Then I'll give you a bit of credit. But until then, the reality is progressives answer to the Democratic Party. Until we work to get people from third parties in, they're not going to truly answer to us, the people.